in this place, and there's this big mountain, and this guy Moses, who's the boss, is like, all right, guys, get together, take them back, and God's going to speak to us in a couple days. All right, cool. I mean, because they've gone to temples before, they've worshipped before, but never once, like this big image going, and Bob, here's what I need you to do this week. They've never seen that, so they were pretty excited. I mean, if I told you to come back tonight, and God was going to be here in physical form and talk to you, most of you would never want to think I was a heretic. But if you believed it, you'd be like, oh, that's really cool, because I got a list of questions for him. So this is cool, God's going to talk to us. And they show up, and they stand there, and God comes down on this mountain, the book of Exodus says, and it's fire and lightning, and it's huge. And I'm like, whoa, too much, God. And then God starts speaking these 10 commandments, these promises. And if you've been with us on this journey, you know that we've shown that these are promises, even down to the Hebrew language. They are written in a form of promises, emphatic promises. Okay, so God speaks to them and said, look, you're not going to have any other gods before me. And those Egyptian guys are like, oh, you're right. We know what you did to the last group. I spent a lot of money in that temple, and it all went to waste. It's all you, buddy. Get to go. You're not going to make any graven images. You're not going to make any idols. And you're not going to try to put me in a box. I wouldn't want to, because with that fire, you'd be gone. I'm right here. My name is going to be your crazed passion. What? I really like cheese. That's good, a passion. Really fast chariots, a bit of passion. You have a God thing. Okay, that's good. Fourth promise. You're going to take a day off. I am so with this God. Because like God gives you a vacation. I'm so there. Honor your father and mother. You will have healthy relationships. We talked about it last week. Wow. That's going to be cool, but kind of uncomfortable. All right. And then God comes down to the sixth commandment. Exodus 20, verse 13. Now, if I were to go out on the street and just ask random people what the 10 commandments are, they're probably going to come up with this one. This is probably one of the ones they're going to remember. They might forget, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. They might miss that one. They might miss, thou shalt not covet. They might not remember the Sabbath day, but this one they're probably going to remember. Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. You must not murder. Or as we've looked at, can be translated, you're not going to murder. It's a promise. And they're going, well, number one, I wouldn't mind murdering some of these strange people, because they're getting on my nerves. But that's kind of cool, because they're not going to murder me either. So this is an equal type of arrangement. I'm into that. But what was earth-shattering about this command and the next commandments that come after, the whole law really, but really starts to focus in right here. The earth-shattering thing to start out with is really simple, and that is the command has no qualifications. There is no exceptions. You see, there is almighty law given by God that is universal. There's no exceptions. In every culture, on almost every system of law, in almost every system of authority, there is the exception, but these are given by God. You see, most cultures have a hard time dealing and understanding democracy as we understand it in America. Because there's always the people who give the rules who don't have to obey the rules. They're the ones in authority. God's plan right here is, look, these are universal rules and no one is above them. Amen. And anytime that you see anyone trying to take authority to a place where you have to do it, but I don't, get a little bit nervous. Okay? Because in God's economy, these principles, these promises are universal. They apply to everyone, not just the common people. They apply to the commoner. They apply to those of high rank, they apply to the rich, they apply to the poor, they apply to the high class, low class, middle class, blue collar, white collar, gray collar, orange collar, I don't care what collar it is. It applies. It's universal. Alright? And he says, you're not going to take somebody else's life. Okay. Good. But you see, God is saying so much more here than just, you're not going to kill somebody. He's saying, life is holy. Life is beautiful. Life is passion. Life is power. That this life comes from me, and it's beautiful. Life is the treasure. Life is an adventure. You see, Jesus came in John chapter 10, and he says this. Take your Bibles, go to the New Testament, John chapter 10. You're going to get past Psalms, Proverbs, all that. You're going to jump through Isaiah. You're going to get out of the books that start to sound strange, Malachi, Zechariah. You're going to get into John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. John chapter 10. We're going to start in verse 6. John 10, verse 6. Those who heard Jesus use this illustration didn't understand what he meant, so he explained it to them. I tell you the truth. I am the gate for the sheep. Now, for us at this point, we're not understanding. I am the gate for the sheep. What do sheep need gates for? All right. Well, very much like today, they would have sheep. They would let them out to roam and pasture and graze. But if there were an enemy, a thief, if there were animals trying to prey on the sheep, they would pull them back into a shelter. And the shelter is really cool because it's got walls around it. And they're big and they're strong and they're tough. The problem is, if you're a sheep and you walk into a big strong wall, unlike the sheep that you try to use to go to sleep at night, the sheep can't jump over the fence. And so there's a gate to allow the sheep to come into safety. And Jesus is saying, I am that way into safety. All right? I'm the gate. I'm the way into this protection.